Hi, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to ACC Lifelong Learning and Wellness online programming. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Gene Wong, and he's got a very long and illustrious history in Sacramento doing all sorts of things, which I will get into momentarily. But first I wanted to bring to your attention some events and activities coming up at ACC. There's a lot going on here, and of course you could look at all of our offerings at accsv.org/online. Coming up in September, on September 17th, ACC will have its first ever Ohana Walk. And this is a walkathon, a very easy, family-friendly walkathon for the entire community in celebration of ACC's 50th anniversary. So far, we have about 350 people signed up for this, and 29 walking teams from local churches in Sacramento, family groups, organizations that have put together their own teams for this walk. And I would encourage you to sign up for it. It is free for people 80 and over and 8 and under, $35 for adults, $15 for youth 9 to 19. And so chances are that if you're watching this program, you probably already know people who are joining this. So do that now. Now, I am told that if you register before August 15th, you will be guaranteed the event shirt that comes in for the event. Other than that, no guarantees because we got to place this order early. So try to register before next week. That's the Ohana Walk. The other thing is very exciting, and I would say a second for ACC is ACC Bingo. Back in the early 80s, ACC had a bingo operation that funded the operations of our now care center. It used to be called the nursing home back then, and we ran that for 23 years. And for the last 20 years, it's kind of been on hold. But now we're bringing bingo back to ACC as a free and fun activity in person here at Park City Drive and also online. So please sign up for that. We have some fun and wonderful prizes. This week, this Friday at 3 o'clock, the prizes all come from Daiso. So this is our Daiso edition. Again, it costs nothing to play, and you have everything to win. And so please join us for that. It'll be every Friday at 3 p.m. So I want to welcome Gene Wong to the table, and I'll say a few things about Gene. Gene is connected to ACC in many different ways. Your parents were both at the care center for a few years, is that right?
Right.
Tell us about that.
They were in the best place ever because they took really good care of my mom and my father. Because I came every day, if not 2 times or 3 times a day, to check up on them.
And I assume the food was to your high standards because you're a cook, and it's probably one of the first things you look at when you visit a care center like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fine. Yeah.
Right. And so Gene is also an active member of the ping pong club that plays here a couple times a week.
Yeah.
He has been in Sacramento pretty much all his life. He was an elementary school teacher for 38 years. Yeah. And one of his early and probably longest lasting jobs was at Phoebe.
I was at Phoebe Hearst for
elementary school.
30-something years, 30-plus years.
Yes, one of the top ranked, maybe #1 school.
#1 school in Sacramento, number 23 in the state of California.
Okay, so we've got a teacher, and I understand that one of your students was City Council member Mai Vang.
Mai Vang.
Yeah. Okay, what can you tell us about her? What kind of student was she?
Exceptional. I always thought boys are just as smart as girls, but boy, these girls were really, really smart. Maybe it's because they had a good teacher.
Okay. And then outside of school, on weekends and evenings and on summers, you worked at Jumbo Market.
Jumbo Market in Bel Air I started as a courtesy clerk at 17. Then I was a produce clerk and also a cashier.
Okay.
When I grew up.
But wait, there's more. Your family is connected to Rice Bowl Cafe. Tell us about that.
Right. I was the only American born in that family. I was married to Judy, and I helped the family put it together, one step at a time. First sat 45 people, the little cafe, and then we built it up to 500 seating, and then we were the first dim sum restaurant in Sacramento. We were crazy over there. I mean, we worked so hard, and there usually were 50 to 60 people waiting.
Yep.
After the 500.
I can't tell you how many family functions, weddings, funeral dinners I've been to at Rice Bowl Cafe. It's certainly an institution that most people do know about. So great. So we are very lucky to have you here. I'm going to let you get on with the show, and you're going to show us how to marinate meat.
Okay.
So, welcome.
Yeah. Basically, we want to eat healthy because whatever we eat, that's what we become. Okay? So eat healthy. So my first two things that I try not to put into our foods: too much sugar, too much salt. Okay? But a little bit's okay. All right? In moderation. My sign says marinate 2 days. Most people don't marinate for 2 days. You know, they marinate the same day and expect the food to taste really good. You know, well, I knew that you got to let it marinate for at least a day or two. Okay, 3 days is too much. Okay, and I do have to tell you about too much sugar and too much salt. Okay, I do put that in there, and I would marinate it for 1 day on one side, and then I would flip the meat over to the other side for the second day. Okay, and then that's it. On the third day, when it's ready, I put RO, reverse osmosis water, filtered water in it. Shake it, clean it all out, all that marinade, all that salt and sugars are all taken off the excess, right? But everything is in the meat already. And people always tell me, your meat sure tastes good, right? I said, the marinade, not me. So everybody can do it. So just make sure you empty out the marinade by putting reverse filtered water, reverse osmosis water, and then just shake it up, rinse it twice. That way all the salts and all the sugar, excess salt, sugar, is out, okay? And I'll start talking about some of the soy sauces, okay? We got the thin soy, which is Pearl River Bridge soy sauce, and it's thin, okay? It's the thin, light soy sauce, okay? And then we've got the Japanese brand, the Kikkoman, okay? And of course, the one that has less salt. This one has less salt. That's what they say. But, you know, I tasted it, and I said, gosh, after a little while, they all taste the same. And so what I did was I started using the less salt and the Chinese thin soy, and I would put it together because I said, well, they taste about the same, but I don't, you know, Japanese and Chinese. So I would just put 1/3 cup of each, okay? So I'm gonna marinate, make a batch for you so that, and it's 1/3 cup, okay? Third cup. Oops. And believe it or not, I put reverse osmosis water in it, 1/3 cup of water in it, okay? And I will put 1/3 cup water in there and start adding the rest. And I'll show you. Okay, then I would put, I like this Montreal steak seasoning, and they're pretty, pretty grainy. So you know what I do? To get the most taste out of it, I will put it in this blender. It's a Cuisinart, and it makes it into a fine powder. Okay, so I would grind it in here. Okay, and I would make a lot of it, and then I would leave it in one of these so that I always have it, so I don't have to use this all the time. Okay, so yeah, I would put tablespoon. Okay. One tablespoon Montreal steak seasoning. Costco's garlic powder. 1 tablespoon. Oh, doesn't want to fit in there. Well, anyway. And believe it or not, basically that's it. Okay, and I would just get it, shake it up. Oh, I use sugar. Oh, I didn't. I guess I forgot to bring the sugar here. But yeah, a 1/3 tablespoon of sugar. Okay, now I just shake it up and everything, and this is, believe it or not, good enough for like 3 to 4 pounds of meat. Okay, whether it's chicken, pork, or beef. Okay, so just seal it up with the meat in it. Mix it up in there with the meat and everything. Just mix it up, Let it sit on the counter for, an hour or so, just, and keep flipping it, okay? And then what I do is, the first day, it's on this side, then you gotta flip it over so that the sauces get onto the meat to the other side, so it's thoroughly mixed into the meat, okay? So there's a second day, all right? So flip it over. And the old saying is there's always 2 sides to every story, right? Okay, and then the next thing that I do, honey, could you bring me my bowl? Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Okay, I would put cornstarch. Okay. And I get this at the dollar store, Put some in here, maybe depending how many steaks you're going to make or how many chickens you're going to make, just start with 3 or 2 tablespoons, put it in here, and then just put the meat, batter it on both sides. And believe it or not, it's so simple. Cornstarch, it makes a beautiful batter when you're finished frying. Okay. So yeah, cornstarch, okay? Okay, when you're frying, I use Costco's olive oil. I don't use vegetable oil, I don't use any other oils but Costco olive oil, okay? And don't turn on the fire real high either, just high enough to brown the meat, okay? And you want to add a little bit at a time. You don't want to, boil with oil. Okay, you want to fry. So just add it as you need it. Okay, and then basically that's it. And fry both sides. And I made these a little bit earlier here. Right. So this is salmon. And I'll tell you a little story about the salmon, and this is the chicken. Okay? Now, I prefer chicken over drumsticks. Okay? Here's the reason why. Here's an ad, and this week's ad, and they had chicken on sale. Last week was $1.89, okay? And I always buy when, you know, when it's cheaper. So this week, Smart and Final's $1.27. Bel Air, the company that I used to work for, 97 cents, okay? So when I see that, I buy probably 3 packages of it, or 4. I'll put 2 in the freezer or 3 in the freezer or whatever. That way it's in the freezer, you know, I just take it out when I need it, and you probably save what, 30 cents, £3, you know, save the $1.50, right? And you know, prices of things today, like gasoline, gone high. Same thing with foods, okay? So save a little here, save a little there, and you'll be okay, all right? So I prefer chicken thighs over drumsticks because the bone factor, okay? You got more bone that you're going to be throwing away versus the thigh. It has more meat, and the bone is a lot shorter and smaller. And on the thigh, I usually cut some of the meat off so that I can stir fry vegetables with it. Okay, and maybe in another video I'll show you how I do stir fry with meats. Okay, now on the beef, not a problem. I don't eat a lot of beef. My father was a butcher for Elk Grove Meat Company, and he taught me everything about beef. And today's story about beef is that try not to eat so much beef. It's not good for you. Okay, so I eat beef maybe once a month. Okay, not a lot, but I did enjoy it as a child. I ate a lot of it. Okay, the pork, whatever you want to put. Okay, just pick the leaner cuts. Okay, and I always cut off all the fat just so that, you know, it's not on there. Okay, and specifically about the salmon, I'm also a Bass Pro fisherman, and no, I didn't catch this, I bought it. The salmon cut that you buy, you know, usually people just buy the meat part. This is my favorite part right here, okay? And they will put that in a different package. That has the most salmon cut, salmon oil in it. More oil for your money. The fish oil is good for you. So you got a lot more fish oil. That's why I buy that. And it's half the cost, believe it or not. Okay, like it used to be like $2.50 a pound. Now it jumped up to $3.50 a pound. Okay, and I usually get that at SF Market. Okay, so anyway, what else? Let's see. Well, I think basically that's it. These other spices here are to your taste, okay? Like when I fried the pork or the beef, you know, I like to add some of the sauce over it when it's all cooked. Take, for instance, it's all cooked like this. I put a little bit of the sauce on there. It was like a sweet and sour sauce on it. And boy, the sauce really makes it taste good. Okay? On the salmon, I learned from history that the Indians in California cooked salmon, and they always put brown sugar. Okay, so I would sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar after I fry the salmon. And this is the salmon here that's cooked, right here. And I sprinkled brown sugar on it, and boy, the taste on that is really good. All right? Now, if you want it hotter, you can use the Vietnamese hot sauce, or I use white pepper for when I steam my black bass. This is what's really good on it. And or you can use this other Cajun style, depending on your taste buds, how hot you want it or how tasty you want it. Those are the things that I add to it. Okay?
Gene, we can take questions.
Yeah.
Ask if they have any questions.
Any questions? Give it a try, and it's really healthy because when you washed it out of the bag with water, you've taken out all the sugar and the excess salt. Yeah.
I have a question, Gene.
Yes.
I wanted to know if you recommend marinating before you put your chicken in the freezer, because you said you buy it in bulk.
No. What I do is I marinate it and then I put it in the meat drawer of your refrigerator because it's the coldest part. You set it for the coldest setting, and that meat will stay in there longer. And I'll have maybe 2 or 3 types. I may have pork, and I may have chicken, and I have fish. Currently today I have chicken and fish in my meat drawer. And that stays in there for, because half frozen. So that way I can alternate different days and what have you, you know. And that way I don't have to eat fish 2 days in a row. Yeah.
So it would be marinating too long if you marinate it before you froze it. Is it too long?
Well, it's not really frozen. It's just at the coldest state. So it just lasts longer. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I mean when you buy it, you know how you buy it from
Yeah.
the store and then you put it in the freezer?
Yeah, I
for
just put it
later?
right in the freezer. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you wouldn't marinate it
No.
before you put it
No.
in the freezer?
No.
Because it's too long?
Yeah,
marinating in the
I
freezer?
don't want to do that. Yeah. It's too much work.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank everybody.
Well, thank you, everybody, and eat for your health. Okay, thank you.